The night Washington went quiet, something unexpected was already in motion. Behind closed Senate doors, away from the cameras and the headlines, a line that had held firm for years was starting to crack. For a long time, Donald Trump's grip on the Republican Party seemed unshakable. Loyalty was the rule. Silence was the strategy. But this time, something feels different, and the Senate knows it. What we're seeing now isn't just another political disagreement or a passing headline in the news cycle. It's a moment that could reshape power in Washington. Senators who once stood shoulder to shoulder with Trump are suddenly choosing their words more carefully, their votes more cautiously. The question everyone is asking is why? What changed inside the Senate that made breaking with Trump even possible? This story is about pressure, timing, and consequences. It's about lawmakers weighing their political futures against their party's past. Some are driven by upcoming elections, others by shifting public opinion, and a few by something deeper, a sense that the political ground under their feet is no longer stable. The divide between loyalty and survival has never felt sharper. The Trump era rewrote the rules of American politics, especially in the Senate. But power is never permanent. As new challenges rise and old alliances strain, even the strongest political bonds can weaken. This sudden shift hints at private conversations, tense votes, and quiet deals that the public hasn't fully seen yet. And here's where the stakes rise. If the Senate is truly breaking with Trump, it could trigger a chain reaction across Washington, from party leadership to the next election cycle. The real question isn't just who broke ranks, it's who might be next, and what happens when the final line is crossed. To understand why this moment matters, you have to look back at how tightly the Senate and Donald Trump were once connected. For years, Republican senators faced a clear choice: stand with Trump or risk political fallout. His influence shaped votes, careers, and even the direction of national debates. Many senators learned that crossing him came with consequences, often swift and very public. That history is what makes the current shift so unsettling. But the political landscape in Washington is changing. Poll numbers, court battles, and a restless voter base are all adding pressure behind the scenes. Senators are watching their states closely, reading the mood of their constituents, and asking hard questions about what comes next. Some are hearing from donors who are suddenly less patient. Others are sensing fatigue among voters who once cheered the loudest. Inside the Senate, the conversations have grown more cautious and more tense. Private meetings stretch late into the night. Trusted allies exchange guarded messages. No one wants to be the first to fully step away, but no one wants to be left standing alone if the tide turns. This isn't just about Trump anymore. It's about control, credibility, and the future of the Republican Party. And as these quiet shifts continue, one thing becomes clear: the public is only seeing a fraction of the story. The real battle is unfolding out of sight, and the next move could change everything. As the pressure grows, the divide inside the Senate becomes harder to ignore. Some senators believe breaking with Trump is a necessary step to protect their party's future, while others fear it could tear the Republican base apart. Staffers whisper about unexpected votes and last-minute changes, unsure who can still be trusted. Conservative media picks up on subtle shifts in tone, reading between the lines. Every statement, every pause, every silence now carries weight. And somewhere in the middle of it all, the balance of power in Washington hangs uncertain, waiting for a single move to push everything forward. As the moment draws closer, the tension inside the Senate feels almost physical. Lawmakers move through the halls with guarded expressions, knowing that every vote, every comment, could be remembered for years. Phones buzz nonstop with messages from party leaders, donors, and voters back home. Some urge caution. Others demand action. The pressure is coming from all sides, and there's no clear path forward. Behind the scenes, long-time alliances begin to strain. Senators who once spoke openly now avoid eye contact, unsure where each other truly stand. A single vote on an upcoming bill has taken on outsized meaning, seen as a test of loyalty to Trump and a signal of where the Republican Party may be headed. Even Democrats are watching closely, aware that a shift in the Senate could change the balance of power in Washington. Conservative voters sense something is off. Trust feels fragile. Rumors spread across social media, fueling speculation about who might finally break ranks. Some senators rehearse statements they may never deliver, while others prepare for backlash they know is coming. The Senate floor becomes the stage for a political showdown that has been building quietly for months. And as the clock ticks down toward a decision that could redefine this moment in American politics, one question hangs in the air, unanswered and unavoidable. When the votes are counted, who will still be standing where they began? Just as the Senate prepares for what many believe will be the defining vote, a new complication emerges that changes the tone entirely. Word spreads that a small group of influential senators, once considered Trump's strongest allies, are holding private discussions of their own. These aren't casual conversations. They're strategic, careful, and happening away from party leadership. The message is clear: the break may go deeper than anyone expected. At the same time, Donald Trump responds in his own way. Without naming names, his words sharpen, aimed at disloyal voices and weak leadership, sending a ripple through conservative circles. Senators feel the heat instantly. Some reconsider their positions. Others dig in deeper, convinced there's no turning back now. The conflict is no longer just inside the Senate, it's spilling into the public eye. Media coverage intensifies, framing the moment as a possible turning point for the Republican Party and the future of Trump's influence in Washington. Voters are watching closely, reading headlines, searching for signs of who will stand firm and who will fold. With trust eroding and pressure mounting, the stakes climb higher than before. And as these private talks and public warnings collide, the Senate edges closer to a moment that could reshape American politics, with consequences no one can fully predict yet. The vote finally arrives, and the tension that's been building for weeks breaks all at once. One by one, senators cast their decisions, and it becomes clear that this time, the Senate truly did break with Trump. The margin isn't overwhelming, but it's undeniable. A group of Republicans chooses a different path, sending a clear message that Trump's influence, while still powerful, is no longer absolute. The chamber feels different in that moment, quieter, heavier, as everyone realizes they've crossed a line that can't be undone. Reactions come fast. Party leaders scramble to control the narrative. Supporters on both sides flood social media, declaring either victory or betrayal. For Trump, the loss lands hard, not because of the policy itself, but because of what it represents. The Senate has shown it can move without him, and Washington takes notice. But just as the dust begins to settle, an unexpected twist shifts the story again. Within hours, several of the same senators who broke ranks signal they're open to working with Trump's agenda in the future. The break, it seems, isn't a clean cut. It's a warning shot. The message is complicated and unsettling. Trump no longer fully controls the Senate, but he's far from gone. And as the political world absorbs what just happened, one thing becomes clear: this chapter may be over, but the power struggle is only entering its next, more unpredictable phase. In the days that follow, Washington adjusts to a new reality. The Senate has made its choice, and the shift away from Trump's direct influence is real, even if fragile. Political analysts dissect every vote, every statement, and every subtle shift in alliances, trying to predict what comes next. Senators return to their states, facing voters and explaining the decisions that have rattled the party and reshaped the conversation in conservative politics. The public watches closely, aware that history has quietly turned a page. For Trump, the moment is a lesson in limits and influence. He retains support among a loyal base, but the Senate's actions send a warning that no leader is untouchable. For the Republican Party, the episode highlights the tension between loyalty, principle, and political survival. Some see opportunity to redefine their path, others see risk and division. And for the American people, the story underscores how power works behind the scenes: negotiations, private talks, and careful decisions that shape the nation in ways headlines can't always capture. The Senate's break may not end Trump's role in politics, but it proves that even the most entrenched alliances can shift, and in politics, nothing stays fixed for long. The balance of power has changed, and the next chapter is already waiting.